Welcome to another edition of Brampton Focus, a webisode. My name is Michael A. Charbon. So I'm going to mention a couple of names to you and see if you can recognize the sport. George Chevalla, Lennox Lewis, Sean O'Sullivan, Billy Irwin, Trevor Burbick, Kirk Johnson, Arturo Gotti, Steve Mulder, and Chris Johnson. It's called the Sweet Sport, and it's all about boxing. But did you know that Brampton has a champion? This gentleman is a three-time amateur Ontario champ. He's a gold medal winner. He turned pro in 2012. His name is Louis Valdivia, and we have him here today. Louis Valdivia and his coach, John Melich. Louis, you're fighting September 24th, I should say, at the Hershey Centre against Jesus Ortega. Now, this is the first time you back in the ring in a long time. How are you feeling about this fight?
I'm actually feeling very excited to finally get back in the ring. I'm fighting. I'm just excited.
So there's a lot of training that takes place in doing this, and you need someone to lead you. When you talk about a trainer, John Melich, you've trained a bunch of champions. You have a gym. I've seen some of the footage of Luis here training. Give our folks a little bit of a background of who you've trained and who has been successful in your career.
Well, I've trained at the first national champion out of Brampton, which is Suze. Managed Dwight Fraser and trained Dwight Fraser. I managed Mark LeDuc, which is a 1992 silver medalist.
Right.
I also managed a couple of fighters out of Cleveland, Cleveland, Ohio, which come down here to get trained, and I was managing them.
So there's Louis training in the background here. You also had a Brampton comedian of fame that you've had a little influence on boxing. Who might that be?
Oh, it's my good buddy, Russell Peters.
Russell Peters. So
I've known him ever since he was 14 years old.
I'd love to see Russell Peters with a set of boxing gloves on. So, I've got to talk, Luis, about your training. You've been described sometimes as a laid-back fighter, very calm and cool. But I have to tell you, when our Brampton Focus crew went there to shoot, you were quick, you were agile, you were very, very into it. The training process takes so long. How many weeks or how many months of training is it going to take for you to get ready for the fight on the 24th?
We're going to start as soon as possible, all the way to when the fight actually happens. Which is September 24th, and it's going to be nonstop, running in the mornings, everything.
So when you talk about your goal, being the world middleweight champion is what your objective is. You're a middleweight champion as far as your height and weight and your structure is concerned. How many other Brampton fighters would one say have come from the city of Brampton? Are you one of the sole ones marching towards a championship?
I'm not exactly sure how many are rising up or have risen up. I know John has already had a couple of boxers, but I'm sure gonna get up there.
It's interesting. We saw, as a result of boxing, we transcended or transposed, if one would say, into MMA. MMA has reached a level of prominence, but boxing still is a sweet sport, still is a sport that's in the Olympics. If you were going to communicate to us, what is the essence of boxing to you? What does it mean to be a boxer when you're in the ring?
I find it hard when just to keep going. Just when you reach your limit, just keep going. It's the endurance, everything. It's once you reach your peak, there's a point that where you just want to stop, but then you're looking at your opponent and it's like you can't stop. You got to keep going, finish him off.
There's a famous quote that says the road to success is not the amount of times you've tried, it's the amount of times you've gotten up. John, what do you see in this fighter? Here we have a young man, 22 years old. He's already got some career wins under his belt. September 24th, I should say, at the Hershey Centre is an important date. What do you see in Luis here?
I'm very excited about him, I have trained him now, since he started, and he was a great amateur, and now as a pro, he is undefeated. What I see in him, I'm going to tell you. I see a top 10 fighter. I see a contender.
So what's he good at? Is it his punching, his movement?
He's going to be a world champion.
So what does Luis Valdivia have in the ring that you see is very much special about what he can do?
He's got a killer instinct, and he wants to get the job done. In order to get this job done, you must have the talent. And he's got hand-eye like coordination. He can pick up moves in the middle of a fight, which hasn't been like taught to him. Like he's on his own in there, and Lewis takes it over.
So you identify the natural talent that exists in him.
Oh yeah, it's in his blood.
So we're encouraging Brampton to come out on September 24th to the Hershey Centre to watch here Luis Valdivia. He's going to be competing against Jesus Ortega, and it'll be a middleweight round. We want you to support the Bramptonian. Where can they buy tickets, and how can they find out?
Well, they can buy like tickets at the Champion Boxing Club. This is my club, and I'm at 8550 Charbon Road, like Unit 7. And
probably at the Hershey Centre as well, I would think.
And also at the Hershey Centre, Ticketmaster, you can get tickets anywhere.
Perfect. Luis Valdivia, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much for what you're doing. It's people like that in Brampton that make it work and make it worthwhile. We appreciate your efforts and carrying Brampton's flag. My name is Michael A. Charbon. You've been watching a Brampton webisode. If you have a community event or something that is of merit that you think people should know about, please contact us. We're here at BramptonFocus.ca. Thanks for watching. Back with more soon. Thank you.